Hello there and welcome back to The Closet Historian and back to my series Side Hustlin', where I kind of make vlog-ish content, talk a little bit more about me, about my career. I don't know why I put it in. I am a YouTuber. It is what I do now. It's not really even a side hustle. I would say that my writing is more my side hustle now, and that YouTubing is, of course, my full-time job. But I did want to talk about one aspect of that job today, and that is the sort of filmmaking side of what I do. I make videos. I don't, make films, but my lookbooks are where I start to dip my toe into like short film kind of categories of things. I'm not I don't think so. I think I'm a terrible actress. So really I cannot achieve much more than just modeling some clothes. I love writing. I love making the mise-en-scene. I love doing prop work and doing like set design and all that kind of stuff. Lighting design especially, but where it really all falls apart is my ability to act. So one day I'd love to maybe direct other people. We'd see how it goes. But in general, I wanted to show you some of the behind the scenes for making that Viridis lookbook, talk about lighting, talk about some of my equipment today as well, including filters, lights, things like that, and some of the things I do either in camera or post-production and the difference between those two things. So let's go ahead and jump back in time to me while I'm making the Viridis lookbook with just absolutely terrible sound. All right, well, before we get to the terrible sound with the iPhone recording, here I have a little bit of mic work to tell you what the heck I'm doing here. So I have set up my camera in front of set, and I have a piece of white foam board that it's like taped to a tripod to try and get an idea of how I was going to do this little window in front, like between the camera and the set. And then I'm trying to figure out the lighting as well. But you can see I still have cardboard boxes in the background. Those are what I'm going to build my set around. The wicker planter that this fake plant down here is actually in. And then I brought down one of my bedside table lamps from upstairs. But I was trying to figure out how to cast the shadow of a palm leaf on like the window frame thing that is going on here to see if this like voyeur-ish point of view was going to work here. A frame within a frame, which is a filming technique that is used to kind of separate you from the character that's being photographed or the scene that's being photographed, and is used a lot by Wong Kar-wai, who I was trying to emulate his filmic style for this video a little bit. So I was trying to figure out a way to do a frame within a frame here on my own little set, and I just grabbed a piece of foam core to try and figure it out. And you can see me walking around in my pajamas, trying to see if this was going to work once I had my phone prop had come in the mail, and seeing if I had enough headroom on all that jazz. Starting to play with lighting, figure it out, see what I wanted to do for all of this. Hey everyone, there's going to be lots of extra noise here, but alas, that's what happens when you're not filming, you're just doing sets and prop stuff. So here we have our foam, sort of supposed to be concrete blockhouse like Frank Lloyd Wright inspired Art Deco-y panels. Unfortunately these came out a little more distressed than the wall, but it kind of works. Anyway, so we have our panels up on the wall, and I've got some boxes here to make sort of a hall table with our plant. So I'm going to make a hall table, telephone lamp table, plus like planter that matches these. So I'm going to paint them the same color and distress them in a similar way. I've just been cutting the foam to size so I can put this decoration on here and put this little one on this planter, and we can cover the wicker planter that this fake plant is actually in, and make this whole thing match in. So this looks like hypothetically there would be a door here, and you come in and you like drop your keys on this table kind of a thing. That's what we're going for there. And so I have been cutting my pink insulation foam, and I'm trying not to be too much of a perfectionist about that because, again, you're not going to be able to tell the detail going on here. This is just to get the vague idea for this to match this, and this is just cardboard boxes that will be holding up the interior structure of this because I don't know how to build real furniture. And here I am after I have glued and spackled that together a little bit, and I can start painting this. I unfortunately did not get any of the faux finishing, but it's just using a sea sponge and stamping on a darker color to get that faux finish. Well, we're getting somewhere. Oh, I have jazz on in the background. That might get me copyright striked. Unfortunate. We have some lights over here. We have our buddies now faux painted to look like it's some sort of a like entry table planter combo that goes with this concrete blockhouse. We have some shoes by the fake door that would be here. You know what I mean. We may need some more props over here on our telephone table though. I have this ceramic box for cigarettes and an ashtray, some cards currently, and of course our rotary replica phone here. Yes, that's right. I had to get a replica rotary phone because rotary phones, the like actual older plastic or like Bakelite phones are quite collectible and therefore on the expensive side. So this is a replica phone. That it would work if you plugged it in, but my family doesn't actually have landline service, so I can't use it currently. But here I have the final set pieces and the little cutout fake concrete window I have going on here in place so that I can really start arranging everything just as how I would like it, and then really start messing with the lighting. I have a lot of lights to play with down here, and I was thinking that this light here on the outside of the window-ish, next to the camera, where I was trying to get this palm leaf to cooperate by taping it to a tripod. I was trying to get the palm leaf to cooperate, but this light out here was such a cool tone of green for some reason. Whatever was going on with the white balance, auto white balance at least, on my camera was giving this a very cool tone green. And so I actually ended up taping a yellow gel, which is like a thin piece of yellow plastic, over this light I had on this side to also give this a bit more of a yellowy tinge to this green. And then when I played with my white balance later, I set it to... I usually keep it on auto when I'm filming, but for this, it was giving a lot of different hues, like switching from cooler to warmer greens so much that I wanted it to at least stay standard. So if it was warm or if it was cool, I didn't care which it was, as long as it stayed standard. So I ended up putting my camera, I think I set it for fluorescent lighting, which none of this is fluorescent lighting, but you know, I had to choose something basically. But I'm just playing around with the lighting here, really trying to dial in on exactly what I want and hoping everything comes together. My spotlight here has again, a gel in it that is yellow. So you can see that light on the wall in the background. I have that mottled light again with a little bit of a palm tree kind of effect going on with what is called a cookie, a gobo, which is what you put in front of the light to create an image. So I could put, you know, whatever image I want to on this wall if I had the correct shape cut out. But I just, again, on a spare gel, a clear piece of plastic, I drew some palm leaves to slip in front of my yellow gel, and then I set the light at an angle so that this would look a bit more like an oval-shaped spotlight as opposed to a perfectly round spotlight, because of course I'm trying to mimic the idea the light is coming through one of these oval-shaped windows. And then it was time to film the lookbook. It took me about 5 or 6 hours to film everything, mostly because like right here I have this clip for this outfit. I'm showing the entire clip at like 800 times speed or something like that. It was about 11 minutes per outfit here on average. So I'm getting shots and takes in this lighting scheme, and then I will turn my ring light on so I have a little bit more white fill light so you can see the natural color of these things a little bit more, and I'll model for the second portion of the video then. And here I'm just doing my best to kind of act, again, not my strong suit, but talking gibberish into the telephone, coming in and out of the quote-unquote door or like living room of this imaginary apartment we have going on here. And anything I touch on this table makes the table wobble quite a lot, so I'm trying my best to do everything lightly and also step lightly. I have like kind of terrible posture, you'll notice, walking in and out of this apartment because I'm trying to step lightly on this floor because, again, everything's a set, it's not very stable, so if I step too heavily, everything moves and the illusion will be totally broken, so I'd rather have a little bit worse posture, I suppose. But I am just posing and posing and more posing, and weirdly enough, this is rather tiring, so modeling is a job. I just, thankfully not my full-time job, because it's quite taxing. It's not exactly as bouffanted as we would like, perhaps. But I just finished filming the video. I've got my lighting still on here. We have our table still up. I'm going to get some B-roll of that before I finish up here on set, and then I'm going to try and film some intros today as well while I have makeup on, because as we know, makeup irritates my eyes, so as much as I can get done in a day with makeup on as possible is good. I have been filming for about 4 hours here on set, so my feet are killing me because I've been wearing different heels that whole time, and even if the heels wouldn't normally hurt, just standing in them and changing in and out of them for 4 hours means my feet are hurting me, so I think I'm going to grab a snack and something to drink and get off my feet and film a couple of intros, hopefully, for some sewing videos that will be coming up shortly for a couple of projects that you will see in this video. But here I am on set. Everything's an illusion. There's the door outside from our basement. You can see behind me what I see when I'm standing on set. So what I'm seeing is I've got a softbox over here with a green light. I got a softbox over there with a red light set up. Those are LED bulbs with remotes. Then over here, this is a LED bar light that I can set to any color and intensity. And then this is a different kind of light that I can put in the description below. The type it is, it's more fancy lighting, honestly. And this is set up so that I have a projection of like leaves coming through the oval shaped window that we are looking through for most of this video. And then of course I have my practical light here, which is my little bedside table lamp from upstairs, and I've been missing it, so I'm excited to put it back upstairs. And this again is a color changing LED bulb that I can set the color and intensity of. And then of course I have all of my props here that I can walk you through, but an old sad plant here as well, which is casting pretty great shadows on the wall that we're not really using for this video. And we also have two colored lighting here. So I have red and the green coming from both sides along this alley here. And then I will put my ring light on when I need to have some white light to fill in so you can see what color I'm actually wearing. But yeah, that's the door outside to our backyard, because this is a walkout basement. But I have this softbox here. The two softboxes were the first original lights I got for doing YouTube in general. And as you can see, I've really added to my lighting kit since then. I love playing with lighting and experimenting with it. So the nice thing about having layers of light here is that means when I come up here, I start to have a little bit of backlighting from the green light here, but I still have that intense red. If I come forward far enough, you can see that red and the other green will kind of fade away. But I can kind of show you what's going on. If I turn on the ring light, like that, you can see what that does. Changes things. And of course, again, the set is only so tall and only so wide, and only so wide on the floor as well, so I only have so much space to get these things done, which is unfortunate, but does spur me to do maybe creative solutions that I wouldn't have thought of otherwise. Where is the camera here? Because I'm shooting on my phone right now. It is behind this with another light. So this is another piece of pink foam, insulation foam. Oh, the unit turned off. Now we can actually hear. This is another piece of pink foam. As you can see, it's painted a little bit gray on this side, but mostly on the other side. Here is our setup over here. Ignore the junk in the background, but I have a light, again another LED color change bulb that is clamped on to my tripod where our camera is currently living, with our very well framed shot so that we cannot, not to shoot my own horn or anything, so that we don't see the rest of the basement around it. But you can see this is the faux concrete with a hole punched through it that we're looking through, and to create some weird shadows I have a palm leaf with gaff tape taped onto my tripod here, and that light is shooting up through that to create those shadows, so that this is just a little bit more uneven. And then I do have filters also on this camera. I have the, let me see, I think I have the Smoke 2 filter from Tiffen, and then I also have the Glimmer Glass 1 on here right now. We'll see how that turns out. And it's the first time I've been using filters recently. I'm having fun with that. And this is the setup here, basically, for getting this lookbook shot, which probably I put way too much effort into such a short video, but what are you gonna do? It's me. And these are movie magic, so this is just my pink foam painted to look like weathered concrete. I don't know how it got this. There must have been a leak above, you know. That's how this got so rained on. Maybe this building has been, you know, it was abandoned and then re-inhabited, and that's what's happening here. What year it is in this video, no one knows. Is it 1963? Is it 2046? No one knows. But here's my little setup over here. It does look rather cute, I'm not gonna lie. If I had a Frank Lloyd Wright concrete block house entryway like this, I would be quite pleased. I suppose, now that I've walked you around set a little bit here, informal tour. Again, I am quite exhausted right now, so that also contributes to the hair deflation and the personality weirdness, perhaps, or lack of narrating skills. I'm gonna have to fix that before I film again. We'll see. Let me go ahead and show you the mess of all the clothes. Various paint and props sitting here, but this is a pool table, like a billiard table, that has all of today's handbags sitting on it, and a mirror just in case. Also extra light bulbs because this is a backlot, and the wardrobe department. I have a small table with all the jewelry I would need. Then I have all my shoes here, which looked more organized when I started filming. And then this rack has all the outfits in the order I want to shoot them in. This actually red brocade outfit I didn't get to today. My feet just started hurting too much, and I already have so many evening wear outfits for this that I was like, you know what, we're gonna save the red for some other video. So that's sitting there, but I have my bags, my jewelry, various things. This pool table is like a junk drawer of this backlot that we're on, or soundstage, I guess, because that is what we have. All of our various props, vintage clothes I need to sell, so many things going on here that are right here offset. So really only, you know, this much of set is ever really done. The rest is a disaster, which is true also of me. Like you see the parts that are nice, and the rest might be a disaster depending on the day. So what I think is clear here is I like getting as much of what I want the finished frame to look like in camera, like during production as possible, and doing as little in post as possible, which also helps my computer not have to render video with a ton of effects on it. It makes the rendering process go faster. So here's a shot here with just the camera by itself. This is my Nikon D5200 DSLR camera. It's not a very advanced camera for video. I mean, it is in the grand scheme of things, but most YouTubers, most video people do not use this camera. They use much nicer cameras, but I would rather invest in projects and in the whole thing as opposed to in just one nice camera. So this is just a pretty basic DSLR that's probably better for photos than it is for video anyhow. But this is what this looks like with no filter on the front of it. This is at about 24 millimeters-ish on my lens. I have a kit zoom lens on here that goes from 18 to 55. Filters, and the ones I'll be showing you today are from Tiffen, are a piece of glass that you screw onto the front. It's like sunglasses for your lens. So you can screw on a piece of glass to the front of your lens to give different effects. And I'll show you the filters I've invested in this year and what they do to this particular shot. So here we have no filter on the left-hand side, and then with the Tiffen Glimmer Glass 1 filter on the right-hand side. And you're thinking, this shot looks quite similar, but I ask you, look at the lights, especially around the flame of the candles. You can see on the Glimmer Glass side, it has this like fuzzy ring of halation is what this is called, where the light is softened and also like glow expanded around the light source. So that's kind of what this Glimmer Glass is doing here. Also, Glimmer Glass is famous, especially as a scandalous thing in the beauty community, for giving a bit of a soft finish to skin so you can see blemishes less, which is why, of course, in Hollywood they like it as well to make actors look flawless. And these filters do come in different strengths. So that was Glimmer Glass 1, and this is Glimmer Glass 3. And I think you can see there's even more halation going on. There's even more of a expanded glow from these candles and from the other little lights in the background. It gives a little bit more atmosphere, a little bit more almost blur, like things are still in focus-ish, but not fully in focus. So it gives a little bit more of a dreamy quality to this sort of thing, which is sometimes why filters are criticized actually for their dreamy quality. And then this is here is Glimmer Glass 1 versus that Glimmer Glass 3, so you can see the difference here. The Glimmer Glass 3 just looks a little bit more foggy and atmospheric even than the Glimmer Glass 1. And again, the candle in the dark setting like this really can show off that difference here. This is video, by the way. These candles weren't moving much, but in general, these are video clips. And then we have no filter here on the left versus the Tiffen Black Pro Mist 1/4 filter here. And this retains a bit more contrast, the Black Pro Mist does. It's got, instead of having like clear particles in the glass, it seems to have some sort of black, almost fleck in the glass that retains the same amount of contrast, but still gives us a bit of halation and punchy color next to our candles here. So it just still gives it a little bit more of a magical glow that we have going on here. These are very popular filters, the Pro Mist, with photographers and here on YouTube to give that cinematic look, as they say. But I quite like this very light 1/4 filter here. And here's that 1/4 versus the Glimmer Glass 3. So you can really see how much contrast is preserved in the Black Pro Mist as opposed to the Glimmer Glass. The Glimmer Glass does flatten the image a little bit. The contrast between the black and the background, like it starts to blend together a little bit more because the image is just a little bit more flattened, whereas the Pro Mist really has that, you know, layers from the foreground to the background still maintained, the contrast still maintained a little bit more while still having some glow and halation as well. And then we have my favorite filter so far, which is the Tiffen Smoke 2. This again comes in different strengths. This is the second strength, I suppose. I think this goes up to 3 or 5 or something like that. But this is meant to mimic having a fog machine on or having some sort of a smoke machine on in the room without having to worry about the smoke machine having more or less fog so your shots don't match up, or having to inhale smoke on set all day like that. That fog machine juice will give you a sore throat by the end of the day. I know this from experience. So I'm really excited to work with this smoke filter to give me that sort of foggy, misty atmosphere without having to run the fog machine all the dang time. And here are 3 of the filters next to no filter, so you can get an idea of what the difference looks like. I know to many people this is going to be very subtle, but if you look at the no filter versus the smoke down in the right-hand corner, there's really a big difference in the atmosphere. I think all 3 of these filters give a lot more atmosphere and sort of a glowy, magical quality to the shot. That, of course, when I'm just shooting down here with my very basic DSLR in my family's basement, I'm trying to get as much of a fun and like extra quality to my videos as possible, and these filters are definitely going to help me with that. So thanks again to my patrons for making the investment in these filters a possibility, because I'm going to have a lot of fun with these working into the future. And I do have one more to show you, and this is the Tiffen Star 4.2mm filter. This is actually a 55mm lens, so that's the size of the actual filter itself. But this star filter, you can spin and also these all work in lighter situations, by the way. But the star filter, this is the 4-point star, you can get different points of star on it, but it really works well for sparkly things like this. So any light source really will have the star effect, but it's a gridded filter that gives this sparkle effect to everything, including all of my jewelry here. So I haven't used this one yet in a video, but I'm looking forward to using it in the future. Here again, this is the Smoke 2 filter with the lights on, just so you can see what that looks like. Still gives me a little bit of smoky atmosphere, even with a lot more light on our subject. But these are all actual physical filters that go on the end of the camera lens. It's not like on Instagram where you choose a filter that goes over your finished video. That's a post-production effect. This is a in-production, in-camera effect, and my favorite kind of effect. I like to do as much as possible in camera. I like a practical effect. I grew up on movies from the 80s which had practical effects, and I am one of those who thinks that practical effects always just look a little bit better than most digital effects these days. And honestly, speaking of set design, this is my new sort of backdrop I have going on over here. I kind of rearranged all the stuff. It's a bit spooky, but I plan on keeping it year-round, as we know. And these are LED like fairy lights, and then I have some strip lighting from IKEA that I can change the color of at will. And I did bring McConnell over. You know, he was kind of on the other side of the room and wasn't getting a lot of attention. I didn't turn him on very often. But I feel he deserves a pride of place in the background, you know? We gotta give McConnell some attention. And McConnell is named McConnell after Christine McConnell because she has one of these TV lamps, and I saw it and said, I'm gonna be needing that, and went on eBay and found one as soon as possible. But yes, Viridis is done. I do have other lookbooks planned for this year. I have 2 others that I have planned for this year that are both... I might be overachieving on the ideas of what I want to do for the sets for those. We'll see how it goes. It'll be expensive mostly, I think, more than anything, which that's kind of fine. You know, I don't mind investing in the channel. It would be nice if the channel would grow a little bit faster to make up for that kind of thing. But honestly, the size of the channel doesn't... it used to be something that I thought a lot about. Of course, I want to grow my presence here on YouTube. I want to grow my channel because it is my job and therefore going to be my livelihood here, or is. But really, Patreon took over that, and I'm able to keep doing this as my job because of Patreon. I make, I would say, 1/5 of my income on YouTube, and the rest is funded by my patrons. So thank you so much for making my work possible, because without Patreon, I would not be able to keep doing this as my job, and I would have gone and found a real person job at this point, and wouldn't be able to keep doing this at the level that I currently am. But yes, that's a behind-the-scenes tidbit that you don't make nearly as much money on YouTube if you're not doing sponsored videos and sponsorships. But I don't want to talk to you about glasses or shampoo or VPNs or whatever. To me, it just never is going to feel natural. The only kind of sponsorships I think that would feel natural for me is a fabric supplier. And I talk and rave about them without them having to pay me. So I think I've already, shot myself in the foot there, as it were. And now that the channel is inching closer to 100,000 subscribers, which would be my goal for this year, but we'll see how it goes. Tell your friends about the channel. If you want to help me get that silver plaque, that means basically nothing, but I would, find somewhere in the office to put it, and it would make me feel like I had actually, made it or something. I keep getting a lot of spam comments. We had someone who was spamming the comments about giveaways, one of those bots recently, so that really did make me feel like, wow, we've really got there, because we're getting random spam giveaway people in the comments at this point, which is just an unfortunate side effect of the channel reaching a certain size, honestly, if anything. But yes, one of the side effects of having your channel reach a certain size is you do get more emails from every company under the sun who want you to tell your followers about their stuff. And it's like, you guys come here for sewing first, me second maybe, vintage fashion, not for VPN recommendations. So I'm not going to give them to you. I don't even use a VPN, but maybe I should. So yes, I guess an update on YouTube is that I'm surprisingly stable at the size that I'm at. I don't crave numbers the way I used to. I guess when I was starting out, I was worried about making this my job, of course. And it's thanks to Patreon that it has become my job. And it's just constantly a surprise to me. I don't feel like I deserve the amount of support that I have received in some ways. I can only hope to live up to that amount of support, really. I just try and make better and better content, try and curate my content to the best that I can do at any given moment. Of course, there's a lot more things I would like to make. I would like to make things more videos and better videos at all times. It's just, week to week, that doesn't always work out for me. Sometimes I have to sacrifice on some element because, life takes over. We get kittens. Kittens have ringworm. You have ringworm. Things happen. So I can't always put out the top tier quality content that I want to, but hopefully I think my videos have improved over the years, and hopefully they will continue to improve. And I just want to provide the best content I can, and as much of it as I can without burning myself out, honestly, because that's the only way I can feel like I even can come close to deserving the amount of support I have received. And speaking of support and my goals that I have for this year, one of them is, of course, to save up for a house, and I am working on that. I am about maybe a third of the way, like a little under half, perhaps, of where I want to be as far as like saving for a down payment for a very cheap house. The difference here is I'm not saving for an expensive house or a averagely priced house here in the United States. Most houses are $500,000 in the United States, I should think, at least. And I personally am looking for a house that is slightly decaying, not like the bones, but like the inside needs some work. Needs a lot of cosmetic fixes, I guess. I'm willing to learn how to do tile, and I'm willing to pull up carpet and paint and do all of the work inside. So I'm looking for a place that has good bones, but possibly has a lot going on inside that needs to be fixed. And not necessarily in a nice big city, somewhere kind of out of the way. That's what makes these places cheaper and affordable for me. So I do poke around on Zillow and dream about these places. There are a couple that, have been on the market for so long that there's probably something wrong with them, but I do still dream about them. So we'll see if they're still there in 6 months from now, when I'm going to be starting to look a lot more seriously. And again, that is only possible thanks to your support here on the channel and over on Patreon as well. It would be an absolute dream come true for me to be able to buy my own home. Out of this world dream come true. Everything I've ever wanted, honestly. So if that is something that can happen within the next year, again, it's only thanks to your help and the things we could do with that. The amount of home decor stuff and curtains and that I could do, I would really love to fix up and make spoopy in my particular way, a jewel tone gothic box of a house. And I would, of course, share all of that DIY with you. That's my dream. So hopefully we will get there. I am just under half of the way there, which is actually not that surprising because we all know how I like to shop. But that's the update on saving for a house. Oh, I did want to get a new tattoo this year. So halfway through the year, a little more than halfway through the year, goal here, I was able to do that. So that's good. I may even end up getting more because I really like this artist and she's newish. So she's still not like, every other tattoo artist was crazily overbooked because they're way popular. So before she gets really popular because she's really good, I need to book in some time, I think. I'm terribly behind on my reading goals, but there's no surprise there. I'm terribly behind on my writing goals, but there's also no surprise there. So I really have, again, been focusing this year on the channel and my work here and trying to stay afloat of that stuff and on top of it because I have, I lost my one cat, which was a lot of vet visits and being sad. And then we got kittens, which is a lot of vet visits and being happy and distracted. So I've had some pet-related drama going on in my life this year. I've had some PMDD-related drama going on in my life this year. I recently just got fed up and Googled, is extended fatigue a symptom of PMDD? And the answer is yes. So at least I know why sometimes I'm just exhausted. I will wake up and I'm super tired. The other day I had 2 cups of coffee in the morning and I usually only have 1. And I did feel a lot better. But do I really want to become dependent on 3 cups of coffee a day instead of 2? Probably not. Although coffee is delicious, so it is tempting. So, life does happen and get in the way. And I think because the writing project I'm currently working on, we could say that, even though I haven't written any new words for it in months, it's the last book of a series. And therefore, I think I'm building it up too much in my brain, thinking, oh, this is the finale of this character's story. I need to make sure that everything rounds together and calls back. And I think I'm putting too much pressure on myself and I just need to write and layer that stuff in later, So we'll see how it goes. One of my main goals, here at the midway point-ish, a little past the midway point, one of my goals with my scheduling for the rest of the year is to front load my schedule in the next couple of months and then try and take all of December off. not for you. You will still be seeing videos. I'm going to try and pre-record everything for December. That way I can take December off and do some projects that I need to do here in this house just before I start thinking about moving. Clearing out some stuff, again, doing another huge closet clear out and being really strict with myself about like, what do I want to, if I'm going to move halfway across the country, I need to do some clearing out and making some less packing for myself in ways. So I'm hoping to pile all that kind of stuff and then also writing into December. We'll see how it goes, but you know, send me good vibes that I can get a lot done before December so that I can take that time off. We'll see how it goes. I'll update you, you know, at the end of the year and see how that went. But thank you so much for watching this video today and coming along with me on this journey. This really has, you know, the reason I started making these side hustling videos is because I wanted to document going from, you know, being a blogger and switching onto YouTube and like the journey of trying to make this my job. And now it is. And I think I really just need to come to terms with the fact, like, let that be a bit of a success. I don't really celebrate my successes because I always feel like, you know, I'm chasing what I really feel success is, which I'm not even sure what that is anymore. But one day in therapy, I will find out. But again, thank you for humoring me here today. And I'll be back with more of the good stuff, all that sewing, costuming, vintage fashion, all the good stuff here real soon. So I'll see you then. Bye. And another huge thank you to viewers like you for watching my videos and for supporting me here online, and to my patrons for making my dream job a reality. With special thanks to my current and former conservator level patrons, Alice, Amy, Anna, Audra, Beatrice, Brianne, Che, Karina, Denise, Ellen, Eloquent Silence, Fern, Carol, Kelly, Lacey, Lainey, Lilith, Linda, Lynn H. and Lynn O., Margaret, Myrna, Michaela, Nancy, Rachel, Rachamus, Renee, Rhonda, Samantha, Swingularity, Tom, Tracy, and Susanna. And thank you to all of my patrons and to viewers like you.